Hi guys, in this video I will explain to you what a lotus birth is and how to do it. I had a lotus birth with my daughter. It means that the placenta stays connected to the baby until it naturally separates from the baby. So instead of cutting the umbilical cord after birth, it stays connected to the baby. You have to treat the placenta after the birth, and I'm going to show you that here as well. All you need for that is a colander and a bowl, washcloths, muslin cloth or old dishwashing towels, salt, herbs, oil like lavender oil. On the first day I let the placenta drain in the colander and that in a bowl, and I dried it with paper towels. There's a lot of liquid comes off, especially on the first day. Later that day I added herbs, salt and lavender oil, and I left it open in the air to dry. You basically have to treat it like you would dry meat. Then on the second day when we left the hospital, I put a washcloth onto the muslin cloth, and then I put the placenta onto that washcloth and close it up like here. This allows you to carry the baby in your arm and the placenta with it. You just have to be careful not to pull it off. In the car, I strapped my daughter into her seat and I put the placenta onto her lap. I also sat in the back of the car during our drive home and held it in place. Once or twice a day you open up the muslin cloth and you change the washcloth. You could also change the muslin cloth at the same time. So you open it up like I do here, and you add on each side of the placenta some salt, herbs and lavender oil, and then you close it back up. The oil will prevent it from smelling bad. You can also change the muslin cloth every day if you want to. Here you can see how I treated it. Now you might wonder, can I have a lotus birth with a C-section? I had an emergency C-section, and whilst I was in labor, I still negotiated with the doctor. Basically, you can have a lotus birth as long as baby and you are okay. After the operation, they put the placenta in a giant bowl next to her, and once they checked her, they put it into a medical grade bag and handed her to me. I think someone held the bag, I don't remember it for sure. The placenta was in this bag for the first few hours until I was able to move again and treat it. You probably also want to know how long did it take for the placenta to fall off. Well, the cord got dry very fast within hours. I watched a few videos online beforehand and people said for some people it takes 2 days, for others it took 4 days, but for us it actually took 7 days. It started to get loose a little on day 5, but it only really fully fell off on day 7. With regard to hygiene, the same applies as with a normal cut cord. It's best to leave it as is. Don't wash the cord or mess with it. Try to keep it in fresh air. On day 5, mine had a little bit of blood on it when it was half off, but that is also quite normal. As well, with a normal cut cord you can have that. But if you're worried about the cord at all, you can always check with your doctor. After the placenta was off, I actually put a plaster loosely over the belly button after it was off on day 7, because she kept touching it with her fingers and I didn't want her to open up the wound. As for clothing, I put her into baby clothes with buttons and left some buttons open for the cord to have space. Here is her belly button on different days. It is quite nice nowadays and I definitely would do it again. It slows you down the first days as you have to be careful, but at the beginning you need to slowly adjust to each other anyway and also recover from birth. So it is actually quite good for mom and baby.